Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize podcast, where we talk Marvel comics, Marvel movies, Marvel news, Marvel toys, Marvel Marvels, and more. I am your host, Chris Boingo Ryder Gaston, and with me, as always, is
representing the distinguished competition, the Vacuuminator. Hey,
Yo!
Boingo.
Holly!
Do you know the number of the week?
Fuck?
You know the number of the week?
How many weeks are in a goddamn year is your thing in DC? It's not a Marvel thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, because the number of the week is not 52, it's 44. Now, do you know why that's the number of the week? We'll talk about that later in the episode, but for now, why don't you introduce our main topic?
It's 1 week until Loki, the TV show on Disney Plus, and we've been going through a deluge of Marvel back catalog things. And to wrap it up, we decided, we agreed, Zach pitched to do one of his favorite graphic novel. It's a thing.
Miniseries.
Vote Loki.
And I want to clarify, I'd only read this once before as it was coming out.
Oh, it's very much like a coming out. I'm not saying this is bad.
It is striking while the iron is hot.
It is very much a comic from 2016.
Because this comes out in the months leading up to the end of the 2016 election. And it's very much, here's a Marvel writer clowning on the 2016 election.
Oh, but like hindsight is 2020 with this book, because it's just like, oh, this is so quaint.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you think this is as bad as it can get?
Like, dear, honey.
Like, there's some good takes and insight in this, but it is all very quaint. Like, I'll say this: I genuinely like the moral we're left with at the end. I really like and agree with it, but also it's like, well, it gets much worse.
It gets much worse, but it's also like, okay, let's just stop dancing around it. Loki is Trump.
Is he, though? I feel like he's making fun of both Trump and Hillary. I feel like he's just making fun of the concept of politicians in general. It's just that Trump is such an Trump is like a walking self-parody of a politician.
Here's the thing. I'm specifically calling out Trump mainly due to the fact that Loki's main thrust as a political candidate in this series is, I am going in there and destroying everything, which was Trump's main political thing that he was talking about. I'm going to drain the swamp. So that's why I'm making that comparison
about that, because I think all of Trump's supporters forgot about that too. Within like 2 weeks of him getting in the White House, I'm now having flashbacks to the Daily Show making fun of him dropping that.
Yeah, but like, it is very much of like that. I am a political outsider. I'm here to represent you, even though I have all this power, wealth, and privilege that you don't care about, because I'm saying the pretty things you want to hear.
Aren't I wacky?
Aren't I saying things that would be political suicide in any other day, but because I am generally being seen as a weirdo outsider, it's kind of brushed under the rug?
Like, the whole crux of Loki's campaign is, I will lie to your face and you will love it. I'm going to be honest with you about the fact that I'm lying to you, because every other politician lies to you, but they're not honest about that. Right. Which, honestly, I kind of like. That's a great pro wrestling gimmick right there.
It is very, hey, I'm an asshole, but at least I'm telling you I'm an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel like that's part of the point of this comic, but maybe this writer isn't a wrestling fan, so they couldn't make that point, is that politics is a lot like pro wrestling these days. Maybe it always was. I'm not sure.
I mean, at some point we realized it wasn't a shoot, it was a work.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's a fucking cynical take. So why don't we go issue by issue, and I'll kind of, because this was your kind of pick, I think I will lead into a thing and ask you your thoughts, and then we can discuss.
Okay.
That's just kind of, I'm not sure how to directly take it, but I think that's a way we can. First things first, I want to talk about, I fucking love the covers.
The covers are one of the best things about this book, because The cover artist is a fucking god among men. Some of the best shit ever. Like, I would genuinely wear the first issue cover as a t-shirt, and they're doing one in the style of that for the new Loki show. I may or may not have pre-ordered it.
But no, I specifically want to call it cover artist because it's one of my favorite comic artists, Trad Moore.
Really?
This is Trad Moore. This is Trad Moore doing the covers. Who, if you don't know who Trad Moore is, you might recognize his work from Silver Surfer Black and the Luther Strode saga.
Okay, I didn't know that was the same guy. That's awesome.
Yeah. Look on the credits page. It's cover Trad Moore and Matthew Willison on the first one. The second one is Trad Moore and Matthew Willison. I think Matthew is doing the colors, but Trad is doing the pencils.
Since we've talked about that, I feel like we also need to comment on the interior art.
I think it is the right art for what this book is, which isn't a superhero action story. It is a political black comedy. It's
not bad. It's very structurally sound art, but it's an aesthetic I have a lot of trouble getting into. And if the dialogue in this book hadn't spoken to me so much when it came out, I don't think I'd have kept reading because of the art. And that's not to dunk on the artist. Art can be good and still not to your taste, kids. Also, since I'm looking at the credits page here, I just noticed there's a special thanks to Tom King. I wonder how much input he had on this book. Why is that there? I want to know.
It may have just been like, oh, hey, what if like Loki was a politician, or like just a dumb idea? And it's just like, you know what, we're gonna use that kind of thing. But
just on the way out, on the way out the door as he's going to DC, he just shouts, "Loki for president!"
Shit, that's good.
Christopher, get on that.
This is some gourmet shit.
Yeah, because this is written by Christopher Hastings with interior art by Langdon Foss, which is a heck of a name.
Are they the interior for all the books?
I'm pretty sure.
No, Paul McAfee's the artist for the second book.
Okay.
He's credited as guest artist.
Okay. Do we just want to go through all the covers real quick instead of going one by one? Because issue 2 is a fucking classic Captain America homage, and it's great.
And then this is part of the reason why I immediately go, oh, it's Trump. Because Captain America's punching a fascist.
Yeah.
Because it's a parody of Captain America #1.
Also, Falcon Cap holding a bad for America sign. This is great. Well, the Loki supporters are holding a Loki bad for the Avengers.
Yeah. Also, that's a Hydra Cap, which is weird.
I think that was like right before he was revealed as Hydra, though.
Okay. But then we have issue 3, which is just goddamn.
It's it's baiting Fujoshi's like crazy.
No, Loki is hot, but also it's just like beautifully presenting how much people worship a politician that they get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at the women behind Loki just crying tears.
Oh my god, the one woman in the cowboy hat that's screaming right next to the baby.
Mm-hmm. And the baby with the giant ass lollipop.
Yeah. The baby that low-key kind of looks like Trump.
Yeah. But like it is a great like representation of like plastic politics, you know.
And then in issue 4, he's just straight up Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, it's just fucking great.
Yeah, great covers on this book.
But this is also just like we have said, this is a book from 2016.
Because it opens up with a flashback to classic Avengers having a fight, destroying a neighborhood. And then it's like, yeah, but that shit has consequences.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The Avengers are acknowledging the consequences and trying their hardest to fix it. Because later on we find out, oh, it's not the Avengers' fault that things got fucked up. It's like...
I mean, Tony kind of makes a shitty comment about it, but this is pre-Demon in a Bottle, Tony, so you can kind of forgive it.
Yeah, and it's also it's reflective of MCU, Tony, because they don't know how to write charmingly dickish all the time. Sometimes it just comes off as dickish. Because we find because there's a girl who loses her home, and basically she becomes a journalist, and later finds out that the governor had reallocated the funds that Tony Stark had given to rebuilding to his re-election campaign, which is painfully accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to the current the presidential debate election thing, and Hydra stages a terrorist attack to destroy it.
Yeah. And you don't ever really get a huge like spotlight on the Republican and Democrat candidates, but they're very obviously like Hillary and Trump if they were Ken and Barbie dolls.
Yeah, they are far enough away in the distance that you can't tell. And here's the other thing: Obama's canon in Marvel.
Yeah.
Obama is officially president in Marvel Comics for a while.
Mm-hmm. And he's a one-term president in the MCU.
Yep. But Loki comes in, goes like, "Hey, I'm Loki. I can save the day." And so he does. And everybody just immediately goes like, "Loki, what the fuck are you doing here?"
I was just hanging out. I just wanted to see how your politics work because I thought it was interesting. You gonna
There's
run?
a lot of lying. It's weird.
You gonna run, fucker? You gonna fucking run? I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I am an American citizen by technicality.
Yeah. Also, I love how he just looks like every shitty, slightly disheveled, starving actor in Hollywood in the first issue.
Yeah. And goddamn the tear in his sleeve too.
Mm-hmm.
It's solid. It's good work. But people get excited and they start memeing him into being the candidate. He gets talked about on Good Morning TV shows and SNL and all that kind of shit. And he has an interview with J. Jonah Jameson.
Back when J. Jonah was doing the Fact Channel.
Which I'm so glad that they're not just going like with the lazy, oh, J. Jonah Jameson, he's fucking Fox News. Because that's not J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, that's Dan Slott's Flanderization of J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson is a man with principles who just really fucking hates Spider-Man, and that kind of blinds him every once in a while.
Yeah. Until he found out that Peter was Spider-Man, I would not have been surprised if Jonah had a shotgun in the trunk of his car just in case Spider-Man ever attacked him. No other reason, just in case Spider-Man specifically attacked him.
Because also, apparently, J. Jonah Jameson was actually one of the first journalists to actively campaign for mutant rights in the Marvel Universe.
Really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, like, J. Jonah Jameson's going like, no, they don't, like, he's a good dude. But, like, it's just Spider-Man because it's like, you're wearing a mask, you're down the street with all of us. Like, Daredevil tries to be weird and mythic and legend, and it's like, he sticks to a neighborhood, he sticks to a community, they know, they trust him. Okay, fine. You're all over this goddamn place. Everybody thinks they know you, but they don't. Which is fair. But basically, it's political theater, and J. Jonah Jameson's going like, are you really fucking running? Why are you running? Will you run? All that kind of shit. And Loki's just like going like, oh, whatever. I'm a trickster. I'm never answering a question.
I totally don't care. I definitely don't care. Also, lady whose life I put in danger when I did some shit at the debate. How about I just pop into your apartment randomly and ask you what you think?
Yeah. It's very interesting because this I'm pretty sure this is a brand new character.
It is, and to my knowledge, she hasn't appeared again since this book.
That's just a bad part of like modern comics. It's like when you get a book, you don't reuse characters because if you make a brand new character and they adapt them, then you get money for that character.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can make good, dope shit like Cole from the new the Daredevil run by Chip Zdarsky. He's a banging ass character. He's great.
Mm-hmm. But Loki basically talks to this girl and he's like, look, I know you of all people do not trust me. I know you have a good reason to have a personal vendetta against me because the battle from the beginning of the first issue, that was the Avengers fighting me. So you have like a childhood reason to hate me from the get-go. But you're a journalist. And if anybody can really feel out if I'm a good guy or not, it's you. So I've been doing some probing. Why don't you come to my campaign headquarters? Just have a look around. Just write an article. Tell the people what you think of what you see. You know, give that a shot.
Right. And we get to the next day, and there's people outside. They're protesting. They're all doing the stuff. And we see Angela. It's nice to see Angela.
I knew Angela was in Marvel when I read this. I had no idea that she was in Asgardian or that she was now Loki's sister. Is she Loki and Thor's sister or just
Yes.
Loki's? Wow.
Okay, basically the origin story for Hela in the movie, is Angela's origin for in the comic.
What the hell
Somewhat.
is Hela in the comics then?
Completely unrelated, just a completely different Asgardian.
What if they bring Angela into the MCU in Love and Thunder and they're just like, oh yeah, there was another sister.
Damn, our family's fucked up. But then we see Lady Loki, and a really good Lady Loki design. I like the bob.
Yeah, it I'm trying to think of a delicate way to say this, but fuck it. Like it looks like a Lady Loki that in design feels like a shout out to actual trans women. You know what I mean?
I can say
I
it.
can kind of see that in the face.
But it's also just like it's trying to be like this looks like Loki. They look like Loki.
Mm-hmm.
It's just trying to keep a Loki face kind of going. But
And I love the way they discuss it too. Of reporter lady Nissa is her name. Nissa is like, so are you campaigning as a woman? Is that why you're a woman today? I just felt like being a woman today, but we are looking into that. I might run as a woman. We'll see.
but it was also like I know I freaked you out when I came into your apartment, so I thought maybe being a lady might not make you as worried. Which, for Loki's a gender fluid character, so whatever.
Yeah, but
The report Nessa writes a scathing article, all that kind of stuff, and then her editor gets a call to change the headline. Basically, modern politics in a nutshell. The headlines are all that people read.
yeah. So the headline is Loki's campaign, something to get excited about. And this happens overnight, and she wakes up to 13 missed phone calls and 21 new messages. And like immediately the campaign is a go, and everybody's talking about how excited they are on the news. And she's like, this goddamn bastard, he fucking screwed me over. God damn it. No. And she goes online and like half the reactions are people going, all right, the election's finally getting good. And the other reactions are people going like, did anybody actually read this article? Am I the only one? What?
Yeah.
Basically, have you been on Reddit?
I mean, it says fucking Reddit.
It does. I love how they just barely censored it out with the word balloon. That's great. And then the cliffhanger for the first issue is Lady Four showing up and being like, yo, what the fuck?
Was Jane Foster pretending to be Thor Odinson, or was everybody aware that she was not Thor Odinson? I don't remember.
I think because I never looked into that shit super hard, but
I heard it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I just don't remember. I don't know.
I've heard it's a good concept that was executed pretty badly, but like that's not for me to judge since I haven't actually read it. But from the feel I got from all the stuff I read around that time, it was like the heroes know that is not Thor, but people on the street either don't know or don't care.
That's fair. I mean, they
don't know it's Jane. They're like, you're not Thor. What the fuck's going on? Don't worry about that. We got shit to fight.
Yeah, you're right. You got the hammer. You got to be a good person, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there has been precedent for Lady Thor, like Earth X, but that was actual Thor Odinson being a woman because Loki did magic. What?
Is she too?
Is she too? I was getting there. I was seeing if you had anything. Fuck off. But we open issue 2 with a political ad by Loki, basically going like, "Oh hey, Republicans and Democrats want to work with terrorists. I fought the Hulk. I fought the Hulk." End of the commercial.
Also, it's paid for by the America the Faithful Fund.
Yeah.
And they go to a show called Politiplace.
Goddamn, that's a fucking that's like a Cody Shody fucking joke.
Like so much of this book legitimately I'm kind of cutting to the chase here, but fuck it. You remember a couple weeks ago when I posted that clip of Jon Stewart on Crossfire in your server? So much of this, like this book is just that clip as a comic.
This is the one thing I say I have a problem with this book. Is they point out all of the flaws. They point out how all of this is bullshit. It's plastic, it's nonsense, and then they do nothing. They don't go like, Here's solutions. Here's how we can fix things. It's just, look at this shit. It's garbage, isn't it?
I
All right,
disagree
cool.
with the ending, but we'll get into that when we get there.
But basically, political talk shows are talking about it, and Lady Thor continues to confront the reporter lady, and the reporter lady just goes like, "Did you read it?" And Thor goes like, "Oh, oh no, I'm sorry, I did an oopsie."
God damn it, Jane.
Jane, you're a doctor. You should know better. And basically, she goes like, "Asgard shit's doing dumb shit, so I got to go deal with it. Sorry, I can't help you." So reporter lady gets like a clue to the next thing, and all that kind of jazz. Well, Loki is really going full rock star with the political campaigning.
Coming out to a modified version of We Need a Hero.
Yep. God, and I also love this very disheveled version of Loki with the 5 o'clock shadow. Like he does not. He is meant to be like Johnny Depp rock star right here.
Yeah.
You know. Well, the reporter woman Nissa is sneaking into Loki's headquarters, and she finds an altar.
Well,
To,
before that, like fucking I have to throw out this great scene where after Loki comes out, he's like, haha, yes, I love it. I love each and every one of you, except dot dot dot. Panel of two chuds in the crowd going, oh man, here it comes. And then cut back to him going, I don't actually know any of you, so I guess that was a lie. And the crowd goes wild.
it's such a catchphrase thing. You know he does that everywhere he goes.
Yeah, just like, Christian Cage, he's going to outwork everyone.
Or you know he's gonna build the wall.
Mm-hmm. Or
Sorry, I was just taking a sip of tea.
or yeah, catchphrases are definitely a thing. I was trying to think of a good WWE one to go to, but like I literally could not come up with anyone I liked enough. I wanted to dunk on enough right now.
By technicality, I did use a WWE one. People who don't get the joke, Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame, has been a member of WrestleMania, and is really good friends with Vince McMahon.
Oh God, we were talking about they might be selling WWE on MMWP when we were recording earlier. What if Trump's the buyer?
No.
Your face. He's just pinching his nose and like looking down in like a really sad version of the finger. Everyone listening.
Honestly, I don't think he has enough money to do that.
Yeah, he's pretty strapped for cash right now.
Donald Trump is not a rich man. He acts like it. He fails at every fucking thing. Fuck Trump.
But anyway, Nissa goes to the place
And finds an altar where several people are worshiping Loki and sacrificing a goat in his name. And they go like, I guess it didn't work. We got to try harder next time. And she's recording the whole thing, and it gets published on the Daily Bugle, and everybody's making fun of it. It's like, this is fucking horrible. It's political suicide. It's garbage and everything. And Loki just goes on TV and goes like, I am a god. I have worshippers. I have a religion. What did you expect? And everybody just goes like, fuck, he's right.
Like fucking last I checked, the Constitution protected freedom of religion. Feel free to join ours. You kind of hate I hate it. I hate it so much, but also I love it. And that's exactly what they're going for.
Because it's that cult of personality that this comic is trying to make fun of that kind of thing. And here's the other thing. It's 2016. I am definitively on the side that Loki is parodying Trump and not Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders was the exact opposite of all this. So it's very.
Oh no, I don't get any Bernie off.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's the independent candidate that's coming in and throwing a wrench in it. Bernie also kind of did that to a lot of like centrist people's point of view, unless you were like actually believing in the things like of political change and making things better and that kind of stuff. Then you were like, yeah, no, Bernie Sanders is fucking cool. So like, I'm just saying. It's good that they didn't try to toe the line and parody both of them. It is just like more pointed of like plastic politics and platitudes and that kind of stuff.
I mean, Marvel is and always has been a very liberal company. And just to say that for the chuds in the back, Marvel is and always has been a very liberal company.
Whatever new character you've been pissed off about in the last couple years, you're a fucking idiot.
Whatever character you've been like, you haven't been paying attention to characters then, because like Chris Claremont was going like, "Hey, I can't say that Mystique and Destiny love each other because of editorial, but they love each other. Hey, I can't say that part of the reason Wolverine butts heads with Cyclops all the time is because there's bisexual tension there, but it's like implied. I can't say Kitty's bisexual, but she is, you know." And you also got to remember at the time in the 60s when Marvel was really getting off the ground, a lot of things that we kind of take for granted, it's kind of like, oh wow, that's a little, being that specific about it is a little like, oh okay. Like,
I mean, remember, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby put the Black Panther, his fucking debut is in Marvel's biggest comics magazine at the time, during the middle of the civil rights movement, and they're like, look at this guy who has all this shit that's so advanced Reed Richards doesn't even fucking understand it.
and he's African and he like all this kind of shit. But there's also like other things of like, because America is a WASP nation, it's white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, you know, that kind of thing. Daredevil's Catholic. How many Catholic superheroes can you name that are definitively Catholic?
One, just Daredevil. Unless you count Elektra, because Elektra's depicted as also Catholic sometimes.
But that's also partially because I think she wants to fuck Matt. But like,
Yeah.
Ben Grimm is Jewish. Magneto's Jewish. Kitty Pryde is Jewish. There's also facts that they had good guy Russian characters at the height of the Cold War.
Yeah.
Like, the only other thing I can think that ever did that was Star Trek.
Am I correct? Wasn't in X-Men the first gay superhero in comics, like canonically gay superhero in comics?
North Star.
Yeah.
The leader of X Factor right now.
Yeah. And the guy who created him had to go on the news and backpedal because Marvel's investors got scared at the time.
There's a bunch, like, you could go through the history of like, and like, I'm not saying that Marvel's always been like as progressive as it is now. It's been progressive as it can be at the time. Because at the time of the 60s, name another poor superhero like Spider-Man who had to deal with economic problems.
Yeah.
You know? Name another female character other than Wonder Woman who is as autonomous as Sue Richards was. Even then, she wasn't that autonomous, but she like as much as she can, and that was more Jack Kirby. Stan had a hard time writing women in the early goings on.
Yeah. But anyway, the Hydra agents from the first issue die in a prison transfer, and Angela's there. That's how issue 3 opens.
Yep, because the reporter woman's trying to talk to them because she thinks, oh, they were planted there by Loki to kind of give him a political boon in the first place. And then we find out, I think this was at the time because of the irredeemable Iron Man, I think it was, or what, I can't remember. It was basically Doctor Doom being an Iron Man, so he wasn't running Latveria.
Yeah, I think that was irredeemable, man.
But several terrorist groups are fighting for control in Latveria, and that's a common question that politicians are being asked of like, okay, what are you going to do about the situation in Latveria? And both politicians go like, I think we need a small amount of troops, that kind of thing. And Loki goes like,
we should go swing our dick around a little bit. Let's go swing our dick around a little bit.
And Loki goes like, no troops. Why should we risk them? It's fucking Latveria. Why should we care? All the while, Nessa goes to Latveria undercover, fucking war journalism, and takes photographic evidence of the fucking fights and all that kind of stuff, while finding Loki, instigating all of it, and like basically killing both terrorist cells. And she goes like, all right, cool, I got the fucking evidence. This is gonna ruin him. And all of his supporters and like people are going like, oh man, this is bad. And in the time she takes getting from Latveria back to America, Loki has spin it and basically go like, yeah, I said I wasn't going to send U.S. soldiers, but I'm an all-powerful god. I can go do it myself. And it's just that keep shitting on this journalist, which is what I feel like a lot of journalists at the time probably felt like, of like, we are trying to say this is bad. Why won't anybody listen to us?
I mean,
Oh,
never have I been more mad about a show getting canceled than the fact that I discovered the newsroom in 2015 and it ended like 2 years before this election started. And that show would have been fucking insane if they did stuff commentating on the 2016 election.
then we have the final issue. It's running up to election week. Everybody's trying to get it, and all Loki supporters are going crazy. I'm not sure if this is a mutant or an Inhuman. It's just a person with exploity powers grabs Loki and goes like, "I'm fucking killing you because you're gonna destroy. You're gonna wreck shit."
I also love how Loki is just straight up I have very reasonable plans moving forward for mutants or Inhumans or whatever you are. I'd be very happy to address your concerns. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking save America. Like, this is the issue that really still hits home for me, this last issue, because it does take me back to that time leading up to November in 2016, with all the fucking debates and rallies and shit that would just instantly turn into riots, and there would be news stories showing these footage of just people on either side just screaming at each other, and like having that thought in your mind of like I don't know if people really remember, because in 2016 there was this definite feeling from people like us who didn't want Trump to become president, who were just sitting there going like, this can't fucking happen. It just fucking can't. We can't live in a world where people are just screaming in each other's face, you're a fucking racist, on the streets every night. And then it did. And that was a really, really interesting time to be alive. And it still is an incredibly interesting time to be alive. I'm very glad to be alive, and I'm not even remotely suicidal. I haven't, I'm fine. I'm fine.
But we continue seeing the lead up to the election as everybody just keeps going more and more crazy until eventually Angela calls the reporter lady and goes like, "Hey, I've been working with Loki just so I can get fucking information. Here it is. Let's fucking wreck this shit." And she releases the information. Loki staged a Hydra attack, and all of his supporters are going like, "Yeah, we figured that. We're not dumb. We just like." And that's a big thing about a lot of this, like a lot of the election at that time. It was people who seemed incredibly reasonable in a lot of regards. Less so now. It got worse and worse as time went on. But it was like your uncle. It was like, you thought your uncle was a reasonable person, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I like Trump. Why though?" And it's this nebulous idea of like, well, he's a rich businessman. He can fix things. And you point out, well, most of his business has failed. And they go like, yeah, but he's a businessman. Like,
But he wrote the art of the deal.
No, he didn't.
He wrote the art of the deal, Boingo, because your uncle calls you Boingo. But then, fucking, I love these last two panels on a page here as Loki's heading into the Senate for the Capitol for a hearing, where there's just this old dyed hair lady protester talking to this like young kind of chattily looking protester who's in borderline Loki cosplay, and she yells at him while she's holding a sign, "You're all either evil or stupid if you're voting for him." And the guy responds, "It's the establishment that's evil. You're stupid to not vote for him." She replies, "A Secret Service agent was shot that day." He goes, "That's their job." And they start fighting as she shouts, "It's my job to stand up for my country." Like, fuck, that hits home.
Because like you can't get because you can't get through to people who are bought into this cult of personality kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people still don't know how to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it is such a it's like trying to talk to a wall. Unless you know how to fucking pick at the wall, you're just banging your head against it. Because no matter how much you say it's bad, it's wrong, you're wrong, they're just gonna go, no. And even if you do systematically point out all the flaws in their logic, all the things, they will just double down and go like, you're just trying to you're just like an establishment pig or bullshit like that.
And like I'm probably mostly speaking for myself here, but coming from a generation of people who were partly raised on fucking YouTube analysis videos and reviews and shit of like, here's this thing and here's every systematic reason why it's good or bad. And these are all facts. These are all facts of how we make things and view things. You have to agree that this thing is good or bad. And for a very long time, I didn't have critical thinking and just fell in line with that shit. It is so frustrating to not be able to have a conversation of like, well, here's this fact, here's this fact, here's this fact. And it's not even about a fictional thing, it's about a real fucking person. And just have other people go like, no, disagree. You can't disagree about facts, motherfucker.
But everything keeps continuously going bad. Congress actually does something that's reasonable in this situation of like limiting the power of the president, which would have never fucking happened in the real world.
Yeah. But it gets to the point where even Loki is like, oh shit, I think I fucked up.
I just wanted a story. I didn't want all of this.
Nissa, how do I fix it? Help me.
And she's like, well, you need to talk to the people. And so I was like, oh, brilliant. Town hall, what's up? No, actually, it was, you need to talk to people. And it was like, all right, cool, you're interviewing me. And she was like, no, talk to them. And it's like, oh. And then people come up and start bringing up topics. They go like, are you really American? And he's like, does it fucking matter at this point? I'm magic enough and it's real enough for you.
There's this one girl, the first person to come up to talk to him is this girl who looks like a legitimate Loki fangirl who would be at SDCC. And she's like, I'm just going to read this. Hi, I'm also somebody who is very frustrated with government as usual, and I am so glad that someone has finally stepped up to represent me. I have been campaigning hard out there for you, Loki. And he goes, thank you very much. I hope you don't mind. My question is a bit wonky, obviously. Our healthcare system is not perfect yet. So when you set about implementing a single payer system, are you planning to? And she gets cut off by a guy going, what? What are you talking about? Government-run healthcare? Have you not been listening to Loki? And they start arguing about, like, shit they've completely inferred from just Loki's attitude, because Loki is just fucking saying non-committal bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's another aspect of that. There's a right answer in this whole thing, but like, you can't piss off the other guy because like you need his vote, so you have to play plastic politics.
Mm.
And then the next woman talks about like, hey, what about gun control? What about this Inhuman thing that's seeing the future? Because this was apparently during Civil War II. And basically his fans at home start realizing, oh, wait a second, he's scared of them. He's not answering questions legitimately. And Loki just goes like, guys, to give an actual honest answer about any of this, I will need research and time.
You know, I have to be a fucking smart person if we're going to fix this shit. Do you want me to be a smart person or do you want me to be a politician?
Do you want me to be a smart person? Do you want me to be a politician? Or do you want me to be a rock star that gives you hope and a dumb idea?
Because that's one of the points of this book that I still kind of agree with, and at the time was really just confirming a way I felt for me. Presidents aren't fucking anybody. They're just a figurehead to be a poster boy or woman or girl or what or person, a poster person for America. They might have ideas, they might have a few core things that they run on, and they're always going to be photographed working on those things whenever they can be. But for the most part, they're just there so we have somebody to pin everything on. Because
a rubber stamp for capitalism.
Because the fucking system is so vast and complicated and idiosyncratic and bureaucratic and bullshittic that it's hard for the average person to process. And I'm including myself there. I'm not trying to dunk on other people. I have a hard time getting my head around our government sometimes.
Basically, he points out that whole thing of like, yeah, you just want me to be a fucking dagger to just kill it. But it's not that simple. If you want me to solve problems, it's more detailed than that. We got to talk things out, and we got to compromise and do that kind of thing. We got to talk to the Supreme Court and do that stuff. And someone just yells out, "No, you want to deal, compromise, you'll be eaten by the machine you said you destroy it." And Loki just goes, "Do you even know how your government works?" And it's just like the purest of like, you have no idea. You just think I do. The president does everything, not realizing anything else. He snaps.
Go ahead. You
No,
can
I'm
have
just
that
saying, he snaps. Go.
You'll all still vote for me. You have no better option. Stop lighting cars on fire, idiots. That's all I wanted here. Have a Super Tuesday. And the transmission ends.
And then we go to election day, and Loki's losing.
He's losing a lot.
I mean, I don't remember how much those states have. It's like maybe, I think that's like 5, 3,
Yeah,
8.
he wins 5 states.
He wins like 5 states, but it's like maybe like 15 electoral college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it memorized.
And Jane's happy watching while she gets cancer treatment.
Yep. And basically, the Daily Bugle, the news network that J. Jonah Jameson's on, goes like, "Hey, you were one of the only journalists who was actively opposing Loki." And J. Jonah's like, "I remember it fucking different. I had the fucking first interview, and I was fucking salty," which is just nice seeing salty Jonah. And they go like, "Hey, would you like a show? Would you like to have a journalism show on our network that does that kind of like tackles this stuff?" And Loki comes in and goes like, "Oh, hey, guess that election was a bust. Whatever." But I wonder if having a bullshit election where a headstrong journalist who could point out all the flaws in the logic could get really noticed, and then the politician tank the fucking election to get her a good job. I wonder if that could be in the thing I was doing.
Think about it,
And
kid. Did I fuck up this shot at the title, or did I just put over a young star?
And she thinks about it for a second, and she's like, "All right, bye." And Loki's floating by, going like, well, maybe that was the lesson all along. We should listen to investigative journalists, do all that kind of stuff. And then he picks up the phone and goes like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, no, I'm so glad you enjoyed the split vote. I concede." Basically saying like, no, that was the plan all along.
Yeah, Loki's a shitter. He was doing some politicians a favor, but also he tried to do a little good on the inside.
Yeah. I think the whole plan at the beginning was just the election and splitting the vote, but he met her and was like, "Okay, you're actually seeing through the lies and the bullshit, and humanity needs that. They need a good story. They need someone to help process the story."
Because Loki is a fucking uber dickhead, but he's an uber dickhead with a heart of gold.
Yeah. But ultimately, again, I say this comic points at all the problems. They points at all the plastic politics, the cult of personality, the lack of real talking about issues, but they never actually talk about, okay, here's things that you can do to alleviate it, or like going like, young people are doing because like the ways you kind of solve through this is recognize A, electoral politics aren't going to solve everything, and so B, you work within your community to solve problems.
Yeah, but also I think like they're trying to impart that idea without really having a straight way of doing it. Like he does say the best thing you can do is affect change on a smaller, more individual level. Like he doesn't outline a plan, yeah, but also I think like looking back, I feel like this election, like that election, because it's an election, it's 2 elections ago now. I feel like that election was kind of a wake-up call our generation needed in order to figure this stuff out and really process it. Of like, oh, president is kind of important, but it's not the be-all, end-all. All this little shit is much more important than president at the end of the day. We kind of needed to lose that one in order to figure out the stuff we needed to do to win future battles.
And hopefully we continue that mindset, because electoral politics are bullshit, but it's better to have weak bullshit than like dumb bullshit. Best way to put it. Like, better have someone that kind of agrees with you than someone who actively hates you. And there was like, let's just rip Band-Aid off and talk actual genuine politics, because I'm very, very leftist. I very much believe in leftist ideas and that kind of thing. Just putting that on the table.
I
blah,
would
blah, blah.
describe myself
And
as a left-leaning centrist.
but you are actually talking about leftists, not like faux leftist ideals. It's like actual talking about police reform and not just going like I'm trying to figure out the best way to pull it out of you.
Say what you need to say, bro. We're friends.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it because like there's actual leftist politics, but then there's like we need more girl CEOs. We need more trans drone pilots. You know what I'm saying? Like those.
We're going to change our logo to be a rainbow in every country that acknowledges Pride Month, but not the ones that don't, because we don't want to offend them.
Yeah, like that's left. It's
what's up, Bethesda? You fuckers.
It's capitalism putting on the paper mache mask of progressivism to try and make an extra buck, and some people fall for that mask. I'm talking about genuine progressivism, which is, hey, maybe we shouldn't put fucking spikes on the ground when there's homeless people, or maybe, shock and awe, we should just fucking give them one of the empty houses.
Yeah,
no one's using it. I'm probably more radical on that, of just like, no, fuck it. You're probably a little bit more pragmatic of like, there's processes.
I mean, if we're not going to do anything to make fast food jobs more enjoyable, less shitty for the people doing them, maybe we should give those people more money for the people who don't have to deal with random strangers yelling at them every day at their place of business. I'm just saying, fast food workers deserve a hell of a lot more money than whoever is listening to this sitting in a cubicle right now. Not saying you don't deserve a lot of money, cubicle person, but you probably only have to get yelled at maybe once a week by your boss, tops. Unless you're a really shitty employee, then it's probably a couple times a week. But there's people who get yelled at a couple times a day. Maybe they deserve a tad more.
But what I'm saying is, like, I very much believe in like extensive reform and changes to how we work and run things and all that kind of stuff. And this doesn't feel like putting the paper mache mat. This doesn't feel like putting the Pride logo for the once a month to go like, hey, gay people, buy our products. This feels more genuine. It comes from a genuine place, but it comes from the genuine place of like the people who wanted to vote for Obama and believe that he would bring actual change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the people who still believe that the system has inherent value and doesn't need to be reworked from the ground up. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
And if it's just saying like, hey, there's bad in it, but it could be fixed. And I'm much more of the kind of it needs to be gutted extensively in order to fix a lot of the problem. So in extent, it just feels like it doesn't address the problem as extensively as it could. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. I don't know what it could do to. And here's the thing: I don't think it makes it a bad comic. I don't think it makes it a bad story. It's just more of like, if you're gonna go this far, here's what it was. I remember the metaphor I was thinking of earlier. This comic walks you to the cliff and shows you the hole. The hole at the bottom of it is a long drop. It's going to be scary. There's a lot of things you don't know, but at the bottom, there's probable solutions and you could figure a way out. It just takes you to the edge and points at the hole and goes like, hey, look, there's a hole. There's a hole right there.
Do with that what you will.
And I just wish it was like, here's a hole and here's a flashlight. Maybe look into it. Because other books have done it in Marvel of like, oh, nonprofits helping out people, other little things in that. But like, I don't know what you could do to like put that in, you know? Because realistically, I am kind of just it's just a weird, it's a nitpick. That's what it is. This isn't a complaint, it's a nitpick that I've just been going on about a little too long.
It's fine. It's your show. Do what you want.
It's our show. Come on. But it's a good comic. It's well done, well drawn, well written.
Yeah. So, now that that's done, now that we got the main topic out of the way, the question comes, what do you want from me first? Do you want toys or do you want X-Men simping?
Let's go through toys because I know how extensive the X-Men simping will be.
Okay.
Because the Hellfire Gala started this week, so
So anyway, do you want to start with DC or Marvel?
You know what? Let's talk some DC.
Okay.
Cleanse the palate a little bit and then go into some Marvel.
Okay, so first thing I have for you, you know that that 1/6 scale Batman Ninja figure line I've been telling you about, like a new figure gets
Yeah.
revealed every week? They're doing a modern Batman from that movie. From
Oh,
like the first scene.
Nice.
And apparently his chest is gonna have LEDs in it, which is kind of awesome.
That's cool.
Like I don't love this costume, but I think it's done pretty well here, and putting LEDs in the chest is an inspired choice.
Yeah.
Um
It's also
Then-
weird how they showed the comparison between this and the Ninja one.
yeah.
And the lip sculpt looks different.
It does, doesn't it? But we got a shit ton of McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse news this week, starting off with the reveal of their Suicide Squad Build-A-Figure King Sharkwave.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's nice. I want that John Cena.
I feel like the face sculpt on Cena could be a little better.
Yeah, but it's also
it is also a prototype, so it could get better.
Yeah.
Also, just you gotta love Polka Dot Man getting an action figure in this line before like the Eider of the Hawks,
Yeah.
before Jean fucking Jones.
God damn it.
Like granted, it is movie tie-in, but still, Polka Dot Man and Bloodsport.
God damn, it's fucking great. Oh, it's cool. It's nice. I like King Shark. He looks fun.
But then a bunch of pre-orders went up of just names. We don't have images yet, but we have a bunch of pre-orders listed. So future figures in the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. Deluxe Swamp Thing. Free Jokers, The Joker. Killing Joke. Free Jokers, The Joker. Death in the Family. Free Jokers, The Joker. Classic.
So that's Killer Clown and because they all have like one word nicknames in that comic.
I don't know. I haven't read it. But then we're also getting from Free Jokers Batman, Batgirl, and Red Hood. Superboy Prime is coming in this line. That's right. Punch a hole in the wall of the universe. Everything was better in my universe. Superboy Prime.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Single carded Reverse Flash. Because I think we already got him in a 2-pack. I might be wrong, but I think we've already got him in a 2-pack. Lobo.
Nice.
Lex Luthor in Power Armor. I'm gonna hold out. If I ever get into this line, I want them to do a suited Lex. Because I get why they always do figures of Lex in Power Armor, but like I always picture Lex Luthor in a suit. So if you're gonna give me Lex Luthor figures, please make one in a suit. That's all I have to say about that. Rest of this is black suit animated Superman. Could be any number of things because he wore the black suit a couple different times in the DCAU, and he's also worn it in a couple movies, a couple anime movies.
And you also wear it in the Bruce Timm-verse?
Yeah, that's the DCAU.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the contemporary animated universe.
No, I think people just call that the New 52 direct-to-DVD movies because fuck abbreviating it. Animated Flash, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Justice League Flash because they're probably going to want to try and complete that team after everybody bought the free figures from that team in the first wave and went, "This is great. Where's the rest of the team?"
Give us all the unlimited characters.
Yes. Real talk. If this was just a because it's 7-inch. If this was just a 7-inch highly articulated Justice League Unlimited line, I would be buying every fucking figure.
I know you'd be getting Supergirl.
I mean, that's just a given. I'll buy anything if you put a blonde wig and a Superman logo on it.
Stargirl.
I don't dislike her, but I've just never had an interest in Power Girl.
No. Stargirl.
What I know of Stargirl is interesting, but I haven't actually read much with her in it. She had like 2 showcase episodes in Unlimited, and those were fine, but not enough to make me go digging.
All right.
Last 2 figures in these pre-orders: Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, guessing the movie.
Yep.
Speed Force Flash, Snyderverse, NYCC 2021.
All right.
So Yeah, some stuff coming. Some interesting stuff coming. I'm looking forward to seeing some of those. And then just today, or no, this article is dated yesterday. I don't know how I missed it yesterday, but I just saw it today. They're doing Batman 66 in that line as well.
Sick.
Yeah, we've got Batman, Robin, and Joker confirmed so far in one teaser image. Also, that's probably a new Batmobile that Joker's standing on.
Yeah. I just wonder, are they going to sculpt his mustache?
I can't tell from this photo, but I hope they did. That would be awesome. Because I know the Mattel figures for 66 didn't. And Mattel figures for 66 sucked in a lot of other ways too. But let's move on to Marvel toy news. Because Tamashii Nations had the virtual version of their annual, hey, we're having our own little convention. We're going to reveal a fuck ton of figure arts. So for Marvel, we have SH Figure Arts, The Avengers, Hawkeye, and Black Widow, SH Figure Arts, Shang-Chi, SH Figure Arts, WandaVision, The Vision, and White Vision. And then, what is this? And then Tech on Avengers, Captain America, and Iron Man. How you feeling about these?
Okay, so I'm looking. That's OG Avengers. Okay, they look good with the rest of them. It's nice to see.
They look so
Hawkeye.
great.
Shang-Chi looks sick.
He does. And who better to put in SH Figure Arts than Shang-Chi?
The pants look so fucking well sculpted.
Mm-hmm.
So much good, just good, all that shit.
Like, imagine posing this Shang-Chi next to the SH Figure Arts Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah. I like the tech on. I think it's from an upcoming... Oh, no, that's the manga crossover they're doing with manga artists.
It's not my aesthetic, but I can appreciate it.
It's done by the same artist who's been doing the Ultraman Sin and manga.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's that guy. You can see it in Iron Man's face. It looks like that Ultraman.
Yeah.
Vision looks cool. I like it.
Vision's body looks really cool. I'm really worried about that cape. Because Figure Arts has been notoriously bad about capes and cloaks and anything that should be cloth.
Well, it looks cloth there.
Yeah. Hopefully this is the figure where they finally get it right, one of these two. Because really, all you need to do is fucking wire on each side, a wire along the bottom, and a wire down the middle. And as long as it's 2-ply quality cloth, it should be fine. But so many companies get that wrong and just put Lego capes on their figures. Or put plastic capes on their figures, which is even worse.
White Vision looks good. Yeah, they all look solid.
Yeah. Solid reveals. But if you want a
big beefy reveal.
Big beefy reveal.
3-0
Ooh.
is fucking doing
Ooh.
Avengers, Age of Ultron,
Ooh.
Hulkbuster.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's 12 scale, which means this will go nicely next to your Marvel Legends if you can shell out the cash.
God damn. Oh, if it's with their Iron Man, or does it come with an Iron Man?
Let me check the copyright real quick, because I hadn't actually looked too closely at this thing. FreeZero is excited to announce the second figure from Marvel Studios' The Infinity Saga Series DLX Iron Man Mark 44 Hulkbuster armor, the fully articulated 1/6 scale collectible figure standard, blah, 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 blah. It's how constructed of the DLX diecast. DLX Iron Man Mark 44 also is specifically designed to engage in different poses, particularly the signature landing pose. The exterior chest armor and the head of Mark 44 can be opened and exterior panels sorted. Okay, sold separately. So Iron Man Mark 43, which I guess they've already done, their Iron Man Mark 43 can fit inside this thing.
Nice. It looks really good.
It is legitimately the best figure of this design.
Ooh, $250.
Yeah, because getting this design right costs a lot of fucking money. I remember the Strop and the Furor when the Figure Arts one came out. And it was a web exclusive, $150 web exclusive. and then Big Bad Toy Store jacked up the price to $280.
See, here's the thing. I fully expect a new Marvel Legends Hulkbuster in accurate scale to come out of Hasbro Pulse eventually.
It's the
HasLabs.
one. It's the one fucking Toy Biz figure they still haven't outdone. They haven't redone and made better. Is fucking Comic Hulkbuster. I want it so bad.
Because we got Sentinel. Do we have Galactus? No, we haven't gotten Galactus, but we got the
They've
Sentinel.
teased Galactus, but they haven't done Galactus.
Haven't done Galactus.
Yeah.
So what other Marvel toy news, or is that it?
So we did get a Marvel Legends reveal this week, and it's actually, there's been a whole thing going on this week with Marvel Legends, where one by one, all week, every day, various different outlets have been doing an exclusive Marvel Legends reveal. Like the Foosh got one, I think Preternia got one, Shartimus Prime got to reveal actual Marvel Legends news. You know,
Weird.
that had to have made that man's entire life because he fucking lives and breathes Marvel Legends. But it all culminated today in the reveal that they are 5 figures comprising the Amazon exclusive Marvel Legends Wolverine comic series box set 5-pack.
Ooh.
And it is shirtless brown costume Wolverine, Callisto, Mastermind, Omega Red, and blue guy whose name I forget. Cyber.
That Red Omega looks sick. All of them look great.
Like, I don't super care about a lot of these characters, but I'm happy Callisto is getting made because she can get customized into a modern version, or they could just straight up do a modern version in a future wave.
Mastermind has his Claremont era head.
Yeah, because he goes with the Hellfire Club box set that was a PulseCon exclusive.
God damn, this is fucking sick.
I do. He's technically a more classic redo of a figure they did, like, I want to say back in 2015. But Omega Red, I do low-key want just because he's in the current comics. But I don't know who Cyber is. I don't super know who Mastermind is. And I don't need a
see him
shirtless
more in
Wolverine.
Hellion.
Yeah. So I don't really feel like I need this 4-pack, especially because it's Mastermind. It's Amazon exclusive, and it's $120.
This is very much for a specific Wolverine fans.
Yeah, specific X-Men fans, those kind of people. Because there are a lot of Marvel Legends collectors who just do like classic X-Men stuff, and they're fucking feverish for that shit. But
here's the thing, there's levels to being a Marvel fan. Sometimes you are just an X-Men guy.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's valid.
Because X-Men can be a comic book universe in and of itself. That's why, like, it's weird to not see Spider-Man interact with Iron Man and everybody. It's much better when he does. But X-Men can kind of be on its own.
Yeah.
It can be over there. It doesn't need everything else.
There should be times when it interacts with everything else, but it doesn't need to be doing it on the regular.
Right. Well, every other character tends to work better with everyone else.
Yeah. But if anybody gets this 4-pack and they don't want Callisto for whatever reason, hit me up. Reasonable price plus shipping. I'm willing to pay.
Is this another simp target of the Vacuuminator?
No, I don't simp for Callisto. Legitimately shoot. This is a shoot. I do not simp for Callisto. I just think she's a cool character.
I have a feeling it's more of a mommy thing with.
I mean, there are mommy type characters I like, but Callisto is not one of them. All right, do we legitimately want to get into this right now? Do we want to fucking go?
I'm just letting you start.
Fucking go.
Here's the bit. I let you start digging holes so I can make fun of you later. That's the bit. Now that I know that mommy things are on the table, I have so much fucking material.
All right, here's the deal. I have 3 types. 2 of them are very unrealistic. One of them is me conceding to realism. Type 1, short, long blonde hair, not well endowed, but looks like she could flip me into a crucifix pin at any second. That's Supergirl. That's magic. That's there's characters like that. And I'll also concede to other hair colors there. Then there's tall, big mommy milker, look like she'll kick my ass, but really just is nice. Very nice. Then conceding to realism, there's dumb fucking fangirl, average body, maybe dyed hair, doesn't know how to clean up after herself. That's Gwenpool. I don't have any specific examples for type 2 off the top of my head, but I'm sure we could find one.
Storm.
Yeah, shit. You fucking sniped me on that. Damn.
Jean Grey?
No, I legitimately do not like Jean Grey. Like, I accept her as a part of the X-Men universe, but I don't like her as a character.
But Cyclops and Wolverine, though.
Oh no, she's a great object for their affections, but that's all she fucking is. I fucking hate Jean Grey otherwise. She is just
a fucking Phoenix Saga.
Jean is a plot device with tits. Prove me wrong.
Jonathan Hickman's X-Men run.
How is she anything other than a plot? I haven't seen legitimate characterization there.
You will see an X of Swords.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
And she will have the biggest mommy energy in X of Swords.
Oh no.
Because remember, Cable's one of the participants.
Oh no. Oh, so I figured out it. I just realized this specific example for type 2 that I could have given.
Mm-hmm.
I do on occasion. It has been known to happen. In a very respectful way, I simp for Lois Lane.
I can understand.
It's like I would never fucking dare because I don't want to get on Clark's bad side for any reason.
Here's the thing, you wouldn't be on Clark's bad side. He'd just be like, "Come on, man, really?"
But like, if there was ever legitimately a chance, and I didn't have any risk of hurting Clark, then like I'd shoot my shot. I wouldn't hit, but I'd shoot my shot.
All right. Do we have any more toy news?
No, that's the end of the toy news. Do you want to do your comics first, or should I?
Okay, so my thought is, why don't I talk about my non-X-Men comics that I read, and then we'll go into your X-Men, then we'll talk about my X-Men experience this week, because goddamn, apparently we're just some of the biggest fucking X-Men fans ever.
Apparently.
Okay, I read the new issue of Iron Man. It's cool. Ben Reilly's out in space with Frogman and War Machine. Iron Man's nowhere to be found. Hellcat's going through a psychic adventure through her trauma. That's about it.
That totally sounds like Iron Man. Okay.
Yep. Nick Spencer's latest issue of Amazing Spider-Man. They're doing stuff with Chameleon, and it's sick.
Yes! I fucking love Chameleon, and he never gets anything cool anymore.
Oh, this is really fucking dope. Because he's in basically a European Gitmo that's on the country on the other side of Latveria.
Oh.
Okay, so it's about in that general area with that amount of political thing. And we see it, and it's in the prison, and we do see someone breaking in. And we don't see who it is exactly for a few minutes. And we just get like a brief thing of like, oh, this person went through some shit, and you're just going like, oh no, it's this person. It's Tessa, god damn it, I need to remember her name. Teresa Parker. It's Peter's sister, and she's confronting Chameleon.
Shit, yeah.
The thing you see is, I just need to show you this fucking page, because god damn it, is this not the fucking choicest shit.
That's fucking awesome.
Because for people who may not know, there has been a retcon in Peter Parker's life that he has a long-lost sister who went into the family business of being spies. So, yeah, Peter Parker has a spy sister. And they're slowly reconnecting, but they do care about each other, which is nice.
Yeah. God, that's just so great. I love Spencer's run. Having not read it, I love Spencer's run because of how much good shit he gives to the obscure villains. Because that's my thing with Marvel. That was my thing with Marvel since childhood. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's great. I love Doc Ock and the Green Goblin and fucking Venom. I like the dumb, obscure Spider-Man villains. I lose my shit when the Shocker shows up, okay? That was the best part of Homecoming.
Shocker, Hydro Man, Jack-O-Lantern.
Mm-hmm. fucking Boomerang being a main character. Oh, I've got to read Spencer's Iron Man at some point.
Okay, Boomerang has gotten genuine character development so great because basically he betrayed Peter Parker's trust and he's in the bar with villains. He's drinking and the look on his face is just like, I have made a huge mistake. I'd have rather have been a hero. And it's just like, oh, your heart breaks for him.
And not just that, but like fucking back when Slot's run was happening, I had this fucking I hate that I can't quit you relationship with that run for a little while. Because I would constantly be like, this is fucking stupid. I gotta stop reading this. And then he'd be like, yo, the Hypno Hustler. And I'd be like, God damn it. All right, this is fucking stupid. I'm getting out of here. Yo, Big Wheel.
Fucking Big Wheel. Fucking Big Wheel. I love Big Wheel.
Where's my Marvel Legends built Big Wheel? Where the wave, you get Big Wheel, the guy, as a figure, and then to build a figure for the wave is the Big Wheel.
Yeah, that'd be sick. No, if I ever write Spider-Man, I'm bringing in Big Wheel. That'd just be a fun fucking thing. So Peter Parker is meeting up with Betty Brant, and she's pregnant.
Yeah, you told me about that a couple weeks ago.
So she starts telling Peter about like how this whole thing happened, and she's like, "Oh, you won't believe it. Ned came back. You know, Ned, the guy who died forever ago,
the guy
in
from
Spider-Man and Wolverine,
right now,
came back." Because of clone conspiracy. Remember that Spider-Man storyline?
Mm-hmm. That storyline where Jackal's evil master plan was, I'm going to make Peter happy and fix all of his problems by bringing everyone he's sad died back.
But like, there's some sinister thing. So Ned went and found Betty Brant on the other side of the country, and he was like, "Oh man, I gotta go solve some things, but I'll be back. Meet me in New York at this time." And they had sex. And she's like, "Oh, but I got pregnant. He's going to be so surprised. It's going to be great." And Peter looks like he's about to throw up because he knows that Ned clone was actually homeless and he was in an earlier issue, specifically 816, which is earlier in this run. And he's going like, "Oh man, Spider-Man, you don't understand. Betty." And he's just kicking himself of like, I should have helped more. Oh my God, Betty's going to be heartbroken. This is so tragic. And then we cut back to the Chameleon, and Chameleon's going like, "Oh, what's going on here? What's the problem?" And basically, Teresa's just going like, "You want information? You want to know what I did to Peter Parker right before the Clone Saga, where I brought duplicates of his parents to torture him with and kill them all over again and give him a massive amount of trauma." And she's just going like, "Fuck you. You fucked up my brother." All this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking great. And Chameleon's just given the biggest fucking like evil villain grin. Basically, like, Chameleon's taunting her of like, "You want to know if you're like your parents," that kind of thing. And Peter's working on an invention that like predicts the future in the fucking graduate program, and we see the guy who invented it's home trouble. His mom's on dialysis, and basically a villain goes like, "Hey, you fucked up. We need the thing, and if you can't give it to us, we're gonna go kill your mom." All that kind of stuff. And so he's thinking about, okay, I know a power solution. This is going to be a big problem. And then we go back to Chameleon, and Teresa's pointing a gun, and Chameleon's just going like, "You ever feel like you spent your entire life living a lie? And you thought when you were reunited with your brother, it would all make sense. That would all finally feel right. But it didn't, did it? It just made you feel more like an imposter. And so you ran away, back here, back to me." Basically saying, you feel like you were so broken as a person that you can't be happy being a family with Peter Parker, because you have been so inundated in the spy shit. And she goes like, "No, I'm Teresa Parker. I'm the daughter of Richard and Mary Parker, sister of Peter Parker." And Camille goes, "Of course you are. And it would be the simplest thing in the world to prove it. All you have to do is take that gun in your hand and place it on my forehead. Pull the trigger. But then you'll never get the answer you seek. Right when you were so close, if you'd only let me help you." And basically, Chameleon's taunting and going like, I got the person who killed your parents right here. Ask away. What's the mystery? What's going on here? And so Peter Parker gets back with Betty and goes like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I got sick. I want to apologize." And he looks into the apartment, and there's Ned just standing there. What the
Big
fuck's
reveal
going
is
on?
the big reveal is Ned killed Peter's parents.
No, Ned's not the person. It's the finisher. It's a completely different person.
Okay.
And basically, Teresa's going like, if you have answers, start talking. But the person behind the door is most. Teresa, I'm not the one you should be asking questions. Don't ask me. Ask the person behind the door. Everything both of us have done our entire lives was leading to this moment, this reunion. It's what I asked your dearly departed David where he was hiding, where the hiding place was, and why you had me placed here once I was captured. You want answers about parents, Teresa. Who better to give them than the man who killed them? Meet Carl Fierce, the finisher. And then we get a continuation of the setup of the next big spider arc, Sinister Wars, as Doc Ock wakes up in a cell and goes like, "Oh no, what's happening?" And a voice goes like, "Oh, you're here to learn the truth." And we get visions of Superior Spider-Man, and he basically goes like, "But I can explain it all. You see, you made a deal with the devil," and you see a picture of Mephisto, and he goes like, "But I know a way we can fix it. So here's my offer, Dr. Octopus. I'll restore everything you lost and make you whole again." Basically, all the character development that got wrecked after Superior Spider-Man, we'll help you get it back. We'll help you get back the life you lost, that you stole and cheated your way to. Give you the chance to move forward with your life. And all you have to do in return is just say you're going to need 5 more friends. Building up Sinister Six. I started reading the 2014 Moon Knight run. It's pretty good so far. It's just like little one-shot adventures of Moon Knight fighting things.
Okay.
And then I got caught up to Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil.
I have heard extraordinary facts.
Okay, so Daredevil's in prison. And I don't mean Matt Murdock's in prison. Daredevil's in prison.
Okay.
Because in the Marvel Universe, in the court system, heroes can legally be called as witnesses without
Yeah, and he
secret
fucking
identity.
made that shit happen in the last run, didn't he? The last big run.
Yeah. So he convinces the court to be tried as his secret identity. So he's in prison as Daredevil. All the while, Elektra's on the outside trying to be a good Daredevil, so to convince Matt Murdock to join her in this one thing to finally kill the Hand, but it would kill one of them. So like there's that whole tension. It's a fantastic Daredevil story. It's so good.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that people are loving the new Daredevil, and I do want to read it at some point because I got into Daredevil through Mark Waid's Daredevil and the Netflix show, and then I went back and I read Frank Miller's Daredevil, and then I stayed current with the Back in Black stuff for a little while, right up till the end of Supreme, I think, is where I dropped off. But like, there's so many like. I feel like all the other known Daredevil runs, people say are like, those are the best fucking ones. Like, people tell me I need to read Smith and Bendis and now this one. So at some point, I'll have to pull the trigger on that shit.
It is really good. They also do a really good job characterizing and humanizing the Kingpin.
Ooh.
Like, this is the run that makes me go like, yes, Mayor Kingpin is amazing. It's really good. So, why don't you tell me about your X-Men shit?
Okay, so I finished Dawn of X. I read 2 more volumes, 15 and 16.
I'm pulling up the Dawn of X Wikipedia page so I can remember which comics those are.
Yeah. So basically the wrap up of the first proper arc of X Factor is what opens this. Where they're in the Mojoverse and discovering that it's just evolved into them having influencer slaves who are mutants.
Yep.
And they find out Shatterstar is there, and Shatterstar's fulfilled his destiny of being a pro wrestler. And it's the first time I've legitimately been interested in Shatterstar. Like, X Factor, I'm not super into it, but I'm into it enough that I'm like, I hope they come back for him. I genuinely hope they do at some point.
Very cool.
And the scene between Northstar's sister and Daken was also really sweet. Okay. Between Aurora and Daken was really sweet too. Especially because of like how he's being self-aggrandizing, but he's trying not to be. He's like half joking about it. He's like, look, I walk around shirtless all the time because I'm basically genetically perfect. So I don't really need to wear a shirt. No shirt really works for me. This one just feels nice, you know? It's Argyle. It's nice. Feel it. Also, who are you seeing before you died? And she just fucking leaves.
Yeah, no. Their flirting is very good. It's very nice. What are you thinking about Marauders? Because you've gone through a good amount of Marauders at this point then.
Yeah, I am up to Kitty's resurrection, or I'm sorry, Kate's resurrection, which was fucking fantastic. I love the way they explained that they were having trouble resurrecting her and that Krakoa had trouble recognizing her because of her phasing powers. Like, her phasing powers are so unique and so different that it makes all the shit that works normally for X-Men kind of difficult for her. Like, they have to adjust everything just a little bit to make it work for her. And I was like, that's a really cool way of making your main character super unique and interesting without Mary suing it.
Yeah. But it's also, I really love the moment when she was in the egg and they're going like, why isn't she busting out? What's going on? And then I think it was Professor Xavier realizing some people leave. No, it was Emma. Some people leave different ways and was encouraging her to use the phase powers to get out of the egg.
Yeah.
I really love their friendship.
And the fucking welcome back party they throw for her is adorable too. Fucking Logan just being proud dad. Congratulations on getting your resurrection cherry popped, kiddo. and fucking Nightcrawler keeping journals of everything that happened on the island while she was dead for her. That's an adorable bestie thing.
Especially remember, there was a time when Kate was afraid of Nightcrawler because he looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like heart warmth.
Yeah. And then her and Magic slip out early to get ice cream, and then she goes and gets new knuckle tats that say Kill Shaw. And I'm like, Yas, Queen.
So continuing on that Yas Queen, she kisses a lady, confirming her bisexuality, which has always been a rumor with Kate Pride.
Yeah. I love how that tattoo artist is like, I was about to close, I have a date. She's like, this is all the money I have. I have a date with you now.
Yeah. Real talk, people, don't do that to tattoo artists. Actually schedule an appointment.
Yeah, that's only cute and quirky in fiction.
So what are you thinking about Excalibur? I am purposely leaning to last. Don't worry.
I know. And like, here's the thing with these last two volumes. Half of it is like doing its own thing, and I'm kind of into it. And then the other half is we're basically an X of Swords now, except it's labeled Road to X of Swords for some reason. Here's a bunch of weird, obtuse X-Men bullshit that's kind of hard to grasp. And that's the last couple issues of Excalibur. Like, I'm not turned off the book. I'm not gonna stop reading Excalibur, but I'm just like, I'm just kind of skimming these ones, you know?
What, you don't like the Captain Britain Corps and Otherworld and Avalon and Shogo being a dragon?
I like Shogo being a dragon. Avalon's a cool concept. I like Betsy Captain Britain. The rest is a bit much.
Well, you do know who created it, right? Alan Moore.
That fucker would have.
This is all Alan Moore bullshit.
God damn it, Alan Moore.
X-Force?
X-Force is okay. I'm trying to remember what actually has happened in the last couple issues of X-Force. Let me scroll around till I can get to that shit real quick. Is this X-Force? No, this is Excalibur. No, this is Marauders. Where's fucking X-Force in all this? Oh, is it the next issue? Is it in volume 16? It looks like.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so let me go over to volume 16. This is thrilling audio content.
They can handle it for a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll wander around. Is this X-Force I'm looking at here? No, this is a giant size X-Men, which we can talk about in a minute, I'm sure.
It's the tiny zombies.
Oh yes, and fucking actually getting into some shit with Colossus. That was great. I loved seeing Colossus just being like, "Leave me the fuck alone. I have my wife, who's totally not my wife, and I'm on a farm. I'm doing farm shit. I'm just trying to be Superman. Can everybody leave me the fuck alone?" And they're like, "No, we cannot. There's stuff we have to deal with, and we need your help."
People like you, and we kind of can't not have you in the books. And then they fight Russia.
Yep.
They also fight. It's the brother of Colossus, so there's a reason for it too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Also, I love the shot of Wolverine punching Beast, going like, "You are an asshole. Why are you being an asshole, Beast?"
God, that panel where he walks through the portal and they realize that Beast set Colossus up, and everybody's just staring at them, and Wolverine is just like, "Get the fuck out of here, all of you." That was heartbreaking. Though they didn't completely go for the heart. They didn't completely hit the jugular, because I'm looking at it again. I see plenty of notable people here. Cable's here, Jubilee's here, Storm's here, fucking Psylocke is here. I don't see Ileana anywhere. I think it would have been soul crushing if Ileana was right there front and center.
Right. She was probably teaching at the Strange Academy at that point in time.
Yeah. She was off island that day. That's what we'll say.
Right.
But
I mean,
also,
she teaches at the Strange Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a good book.
Did you see they announced the Magic Marvel event for this summer?
What?
The death of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Don't market a fucking event on killing a character.
It's the stupidest fucking comic trope. Like, characters can die and we can move on from them. That's fine. But that's not what they're gonna do. Like, they're just doing that. Like, they're clearly just doing that. We're off the rails now. I'm sorry. We're just doing that event because there's a Doctor Strange movie coming out this year, and that was the only story they could think of to do with him to grab eyes.
That's the thing. There's a whole 1,001 stories you can do with Strange Academy, which is the book Doctor Strange is in right now, because he doesn't have his own book right now.
All I'm saying is, I want the next announcement to be, okay, after the death of Doctor Strange, we're doing a story called The Next Sorcerer Supreme, and she's a blonde lady from Krakoa.
Or it's a very angry man from Latveria.
That's good as well. But getting back to X-Force real quick, one of these issues is the issue where they finally establish that Quentin and Phoebe are dating.
Yeah.
And that shit was fucking fascinating. Where she's like, yeah, I fucked you in the bushes, and I share everything mentally with my sisters. My sisters just got a live feed of us fucking, but also I fucked you in the bushes because I wanted something to myself. And it's like, what? How do you reconcile that? I don't understand, but it's kind of cute, so okay.
I find that whole, because like another one of the cuckoos is dating Cable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fascinating to think about, like, them going on double dates and just basically looking at their dates and going like, you're a hive mind. You share every thought. This is weird. Not
So
in a bad way, because we care about you, but like it's a thing we have to wrap our head around.
If we have a foursome, how the fuck is this gonna work?
And they just pipe up and go, well, technically it'd be more of a threesome.
Oh my god.
But the giant sizes, what do you think about the giant sizes? That'd be Phantom X and Storm.
That was skirting dangerously close to obtuse X-Men bullshit that's a bit much for me. But it was
Phantom X?
It was interesting enough that I was like, yeah, okay. This is kind of a crazy sci-fi concept, but I can grasp it. And it's okay. Yeah, I'm into it. I like this fucking AIM agent who doesn't give a shit and is just along for the ride. I like that fucking Douglas is here.
I just want to spoil this completely because you brought it up. The AIM agent gets invited to the Hellfire Gala.
Hell yeah!
He comes back!
Good for him! I hope Hickman has big cosmic plans for that guy.
I want him to be just one of the few human best friends of the X-Men. They're like, yeah, fuck humanity. You get to stay.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. We're going to Krakoa.
So, any thoughts on Wolverine?
Alright, I feel like we might fight here because I'm sorry, but I just don't care. I just do not care about this vampire shit. I genuinely tried to read these issues, and I could not get myself to care.
It's an interesting concept that they spread out too long.
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
So shall you begin the simping?
I'm legitimately mad about this, okay? Like I was not joking with that tweet until I fucking hopped on the Modular account and turned it into a joke because I felt bad that I actually hit send. Cause so there's some issues of New Mutants in these volumes. And
Uh-huh.
one issue particular, where there's this thing they've been building in the background of New Mutants up till now. Of there is a site called Docs, and Docs is a site where bigots against mutants are posting like photos and legitimate addresses of mutants who haven't gone to
Adopting
Krakoa.
people.
Yeah, mutants who haven't gone to Krakoa, and they're basically going like, "Hey, we're not saying you should go beat these people to death. We're just telling you where you could go to do that if you wanted to, but we're not advocating for that." And slowly the New Mutants have been figuring out that this is a thing. And Magic at the end of like an issue or two ago, Magic, Ileana Rasputin, Cyclops' sister, basically went, all right, oh god, I forgot her name. Not Forge, lady in the chair, fucking Oracle of the
Sage.
Mutants. Sage, can you look into this for me? Can you figure out where this is being run out of so I can go smash this up? You're not going to kill anyone, right? Because we have a law against that now. Yeah, I'm just going to go smash it up. I'm just going to go make some threats. All right, it's here. So this issue opens up with Magic putting together a small team to go and confront Docs. And
The team including Glob and Mirage.
So they walk into this place and Docs can see them coming. And the fucking head guy is like, all right, everybody, get out your cell phones. We're going to fucking tape this mutant attack and prove that mutants
like
are
Tim
dangerous. Yeah. This Tim Cook looking motherfucker is like, everybody film the mutants killing me so that we can start a bunch of mutant hate crimes. And
Race war.
yeah.
Don't edit that out of context.
And then Ileana kicks down the door, and I wasn't lying with that tweet. I saw that and I thought, I kind of wish I was that door. And then a second passed and I went, oh god, I actually fought that. Fuck you, Chris!
See, I knew what would happen. Because she's
did.
basically foul-mouthed, angry Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
She's goth Supergirl.
Which is a take Supergirl can get to sometimes. New 52 Supergirl crosses that line a couple times.
But she's also goth.
Yeah, but and she's short. And she's got the long blonde hair, and she's got the fuck you.
Also,
Fuck
remember
you.
she's Russian, so read all of her fucking dialogue in Russian with a Russian accent.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that, and then you told me that, and it. But she basically goes like, "All right, motherfucker, we're changing the code on your site so that if you dox somebody, you get doxed. And give me an excuse to shove this sword in your throat, because I will. We have a law against it, so I'm trying not to, but I will fucking shove this sword into your throat." And he's basically like, you can't do this fucking civil liberty, blah blah blah, or bullshit. We're not doing anything wrong. And she's just like, look, if I find out that another mutant died because of this fucking website, I do not care. I have a school I can go stay at. I don't have to live on Krakoa. I'll come back here and kill all of you. Goodbye. And as she's walking away, this motherfucker starts running his mouth on her, and she turns to start attacking him, and then Glob beats the shit out of him and reads him the riot act, and just fucking goes off in the most badass way possible. And then they leave, and I was like, okay, that was more awesome than I was already expecting. And then the rest of the issue is like this really heartfelt conversation between Magic and Glob, where he like reveals that his dad hated mutants since before he was born, and
panel.
Yeah, and they have a fucking heart-to-heart conversation about like, look, it's okay to get angry. It's okay to lash out and get mad. You're just having a natural emotion. Sometimes you need that release. Like, just because that guy made you think of your dad and you turned into this person that reminds you of your dad for a split second doesn't mean it was bad. Sometimes we have to get that way. And here's the thing. You were right about Supergirl in all those ways. You were right about the comparison. But like this is the thing that makes me really love Supergirl coming out in this character of her just being a comforting friend, of her being like, yes, I am a badass and I do get angry and I am a big commanding badass bitch who's short for some reason. But when my friends need moral support, I'm going to give them a hug and I'm going to tell them it's okay.
He's been through hell and back. She knows what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that literally. She's been through hell and back.
And that's the same thing with Supergirl, of fucking going through the traumatic experience of waking up one day and finding out not only is everyone you've ever known and loved and everything you've ever seen in your life just gone, but the one reason you weren't part of that is now null and void because the person you were sent here to protect doesn't need protecting. And you have no purpose. And you have
and
to
in fact
find
sees you as something that needs to be protected.
Mm-hmm. And now you have to find a new purpose. You have to completely re-find yourself after you just finished doing that as a fucking teenager. Like that's Supergirl's origin right there in a few sentences. And like I've been picking up through osmosis, it's kind of the same thing with Ileana. And that's why I can finally reveal the reason 44 is the number of the week. That's the amount of dollars I spent on a mint in box Marvel Legends Magic on eBay this week. It'll be here next Saturday.
Sick. Also love this little story Glob says about his mom. One night at like 2 a.m, my mom woke me up and sneaked me out of the house. She drove me to Westchester, left me with Professor X. She gave me a kiss on the forehead and told me not to call home. It's like the utter heartbreak of that. It's just like Glob turned from this background sort of character that you throw in and go like, oh hey, look, it's Glob, to like genuinely one of the more heartbreaking examples of why mutants are treated the way, like mutants as a minority group in the Marvel comics.
Also, I just want to say, like, we've been talking about specific action things in the panels. This is like almost exactly my kind of art style. I fucking love the art in this issue specifically. It's a guest artist, Marco Thalia, I want to say is how you pronounce that last name. If anybody knows like a series this guy or gal or person regularly drew, please point me in that direction because I want to see more of this art. It's fucking great.
Also, the cover's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So yeah, this is the issue that has galvanized me into a magic simp. New Mutants number
12.
New Mutants number 12. I might have to get a physical copy of that single.
So you ready to hear about some Hellfire Gala?
Yeah, spoil me on the Hellfire Gala, please and thank you.
Okay, so it starts off with Marauders. So Kay, Shaw, and Emma are looking out on the basically the outer outpost that the Marauders have that have the gate, and it's basically one of the like checkpoints for people to get into Krakoa. It's so people don't just roll up on Krakoa. We see New York, and there's a mutant there putting flowers on the Avengers lapels, and they come in and go like, "Oh, hey, welcome the Avengers!" And they come in and go like, "Oh, hello, X-Men," and Shaw just basically goes, "Technically, we're not all X-Men," and they just go like, "Shut up! They don't fucking care about our inner politics. We're all X-Men to them," which is kind of just funny because it's
a massive fucking dunk on the readers. I love it.
It's a dunk on the readers, but it's also like a little bit of like, is that subtle racism? You know, all black people play basketball. All mutants are X-Men. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And then the next
These
page,
kids are totally gonna be X-Men in a few years once we age them up.
And then we have the Fantastic Four dropping in. And here's the thing: people have been going like, "Oh man, why aren't any of the heroes in like fancy costumes?" Because all the X-Men Gala outfits are based off of mutant fashion.
They're expressing their superhero
costume.
It's a cultural expo.
But people are also going like, "Oh, but shouldn't they fancy it up a little bit?" And I'm just sitting here going like, "Guys, the mutant culture and mutant fashion is based off of superhero costumes. They are dressed up fancy. They're in their superhero costumes. It is the similar foundation of their culture in outfits.
Is Tony
They
wearing
are,
a suit? No, he came in his latest fucking fancy pants armor.
yeah. Tony's in his nicest armor. The Fantastic Four are all in their Fantastic Four. Valeria and Franklin are in their Fantastic Four uniforms. And Kate Pride comes up and immediately gives Franklin a hug. Because I also found out something really nice today.
Oh,
Guess who's all Fantastic Four?
you know what else I heard?
What?
Your boy Donny Cates taking over Hulk. I'm
God damn.
excited. I'm excited for you on that.
You know who should write Fantastic Four?
Who?
Al Ewing.
That's a fucking pick. Okay, I wouldn't have
He's
thought
been
of
doing
that.
great with Guardians.
Okay.
He'd be good at it. And basically, Iron Man pops in and Kid Omega goes like, "Hey man, no flying. Use the portals. Where's your flower?" And he goes like, "Bitch, I'm Iron Man. Fuck you. Also, I have psionic Davender sunglasses, so none of y'all can read my mind. Fuck y'all."
I saw that panel and I was like, okay, I normally hate it when Marvel throws Tony under the bus, but like, fuck you, Tony. That's such a Tony thing. Fuck you, Tony.
And then Doctor Doom shows up, and all the fucking people from different countries that don't like mutantdom because they're trying to be polite and everybody's being very cordial and political and it's like all that kind of stuff. And then they gave us these three panels.
Yeah, the ones from your server.
No, that's later. These three
Oh.
panels where J. Jonah Jameson shows up and the AIM Beekeeper guy shows up.
Hey!
And fist bumps Jean Grey.
Who are those other two people framing Jonah supposed to be? Are they
No
supposed to be
idea.
anybody?
I'm not sure. There's
The
a lot of
dude-
celebrity.
The dude kind of looks like Elton John a little bit.
There's a lot of celebrity guests, and I'm not completely sure who all of them are. But then Doctor Strange shows up and goes like, "Finally, I'm not underdressed. I'm not overdressed. No, finally, I am underdressed." That's the line. And then Professor Xavier comes in and goes like, "Oh, hey, I'm glad you came, Reed. I wasn't sure after the last meeting that you would have accepted the invitation." And Reed goes like, "The kids wanted to come, so I made the time. I also wanted to say this to your face." We don't see what it is. And Reed just looks on stoic badass, and Professor Xavier's going like, "Oh, so we have no idea what it is."
So correct me if I'm wrong, the last time in canon Reed and Professor X interacted, Reed had come up with a formula. He had come up with a cure for being a mutant, and because of it, Professor X like pseudo lobotomized him. Like, you don't remember what the formula is, and you can never relearn it. That was their last interaction, right?
Might be, I don't remember. But then we have
I think if that is what it is, I'm going to take a stab and say the thing Reed said is, I remember.
might be or it might be you lied to Franklin because Professor Xavier said you're not a mutant, Franklin.
Such like, it's one thing that that Dan Slott retconned Franklin as a mutant, but the fact that he had Professor X say that to Franklin, that fucking pisses me off, because Professor X would not say that to somebody. Even this version of Professor X, I feel like he'd let him down way easier.
Yeah. And basically Franklin and Kate are talking, and Professor Xavier just gives the fucking line. This feels like it was written by Dan Slott. "It's always nice to see our human friends, especially you, Franklin." Oh. But then we do get these two panels with Franklin and Kate, which makes me feel like, oh, something's the editorial knows.
So Kate using Bub.
Great. And then we get some party shenanigans, and we get a mutant character that showed up in like 2 comics in like the 80s shows up and does a concert with a bunch of the
Hickman thing. God damn it.
with a couple of the telepaths, and basically they, using telepathy, let the audience know not only what the music sounds like, the emotion behind it, but also what it feels like to play the music themselves as if they were a master musician.
That's cool.
It's like a really unique artistic experience that you can only get from these mutants. And like Thing's loving it. It's like because he's just sentimentally going like, oh, if my aunt Petunia could hear me play, and Doctor Doom's right in front of him, just going like sentimental rube. I love Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom being like bad neighbors who can get along but don't like each other. And outside of the whole event, we have Bishop and Shaw's kid and Pyro and the AIM beekeeper and Iceman all throwing bones and gambling outside the party.
Fucking sick. Yes.
And then the thing shows up. Like this Marauders issue is like one half Fantastic Four, and I am so in love with it.
This is Gary Duggan, isn't it?
What?
This is still Gary Duggan writing this book, right?
I think so. I'm going back up to the credits.
Honestly, like I've been ingratiated to Gary Duggan over the last couple years.
Duggan.
I love his Guardians run as well. So like he could get FF next. That'd be my pick.
Oh, that'd be cool. But basically the Thing runs up and goes, okay, what incarnation do you think you're doing? And they're all going like, it's the Thing. What are we gonna say? He just goes, I'm offended you didn't think to ask the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing if you want to roll some bones. It's gambling time.
Yeah.
And we got a cool like Gen X reunion with Banshee and Emma just going like, look at us, look at where we are. You look good, Emma. You look good, Banshee. Everything's cool. And then we get the fucking Run the Jewels cameo.
Yeah. You just opening Discord after getting off work and seeing that shit was just like, all right, okay.
They're just going like, oh man, Dr. Doom's gonna kick Captain America's ass. And part of me wants to believe that's a shout to MF Doom. Going like, oh no, MF Doom's sick. And Emma Frost like cuts in between Captain America and Doom, just going like, hey man, it's a party. Don't butt heads. And basically it basically goes like, hey, Dr. Doom, we can give you a lot of cool medicine to help your people. Doom, there's no reason that Latveria can't enjoy the same friendship with Krakoa as America does. We have much to offer and little to ask. Frankly, your intractability on Krakoa demeans a man who has accomplished much. And then Doom just responds, you say man as though I am less, not more. And it's basically Doom feels like he is being mistreated by mutants, and that's the whole big thing with Latveria. And Emma goes like, Victor, mutants are here. We're not going anywhere. What?
Mutants are fucking systemic oppression incarnate, and Doom's fucking argument is just no you.
Exactly. But Emma responds, but Victor, mutants are here. We're not going anywhere. You act as though we have announced that we have conquered the Earth. And then the next panel, Emma Frost, on behalf of the Shi'ar Empire, we would like to congratulate Mutantdom on their conquering of your home planets.
Oh my god.
And Doom just laughs his fucking ass off. It's just fucking great. And they're dealing with the Shi'ar and all that kind of stuff. And they're just trying to figure things out. And different people.
Is Melandra there?
No. It's like an ambassador of the Shi'ar.
Okay, so Professor X does not have a nice night.
No. He definitely does not have a nice night. Oh yeah, Conan O'Brien's here.
Oh, good for him. Do you think, because Moira's just living in that room underneath Krakoa, do you think Professor X just retires there every evening?
Maybe. Some nights. That's just legitimately Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Also, I have a feeling I recognize who this person is, but I don't know from where.
They do look familiar.
Also, part of me wants to believe that this might be Chris Pratt. I am not. Maybe no Pink.
I don't know. I barely know anything about Pink, so I thought
part of me thinks that looks a little bit like Chris Pratt.
That's a stretch, buddy.
Yeah, but Guardian reunites with North Star and going like, hey, basically going like, hey, you guys, your marriage is doing good. I know being a superhero is not good on a marriage, and it's like, everything's great. Just catching up. It's nice. And Emma Frost is going like, you know what? You know who's a hunk? Steve Rogers. Maybe I'll get some of that. And basically Kate goes like, Steve Rogers is good old American Boy Scout. He likes baseball games, wore the same uniform for a century. He drinks milk. Why are you interested in him? And Emma Frost goes like, but he's hot. You know, he's a leader. He does all that stuff. And then she reads Steve's mind, and he just goes, oh no. I remind Rogers of his mother.
That says a lot about Steve. I fucking love that.
The look on Emma's face is also just fucking great. And Kate just going like, oh dear. I love their friendship. Their friendship is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because Emma's basically like, I'm a cut a bitch. And Kate goes like, hold on, you don't need to cut a bitch. Emma explains her plan.
It's that relationship you see amongst women sometimes of like, you're a lot younger than me, but not young enough to be my daughter. So I'm cool with being friends / a mentor to you.
Yeah. And basically they go into the back and go like, all right, Hellfire people, here's a toast to all of us. Let's bring the world together, do all that dope shit. And then we get a flash forward of everybody going like, oh man, that was a fucking weird thing. And like an ambassador goes like, oh, that, for what it's worth, I think you've done wonderful. And Emerald goes, speak your mind, basically going like, tell me the truth with her mind powers. You will galvanize humanity in a way that was it never was to confront the threat posed by mutant kind. It's basically going like, you have made us all very afraid of you. And then you have Magic talking to Strange, going like, well, look, I don't want to be rude at a party. I want some time to gather my thoughts. Basically, like, this whole mutant thing, I need to figure it out. And Scott does the same thing with Steve, because something happens. They aren't saying what. And like, it was a big thing. And Scott goes like, I'm not certain, but I had an inkling. And Steve goes, well, you solved one big problem, but I'm worried you might have an even bigger mess. I just hope you know what you're doing. See you out there, Scott. Basically being like, hey, I'm glad you mutant people are looking out for each other. Watch your back. Something might be on the horizon. I care about you guys, which is nice. And then there's a reprint of the old Hellfire Gala thing from the Claremont era. As just kind of like hey, here's where the Hellfire Gala idea came from. And then we have X-Force, who are basically running security for the event. We see Quentin Quire. He's going through mind reading all the people, just kind of like keeping going like, all right, you good. He does to Iron Man. We have a little bit more of an extended conversation between them, and basically Tony's going like, that's Mr. Stark to you. And you know what's inside this brain? A Fort Knox worth of intel that I'm not about to let your sticky fingers fondle. Basically giving a reason, yeah, no, I'm super smart. I don't want you getting my corporate secrets.
I have a lot of corporate and a lot of government secrets.
Yeah.
No.
And we see Beast and Sage just like keeping an eye on everything. Wolverine's dealing with the Shi'ar because they gave Krakoa some gifts, and that's what the ambassador was talking about in the last issue. So he's dealing with that. Domino's dealing with it. Wolverine's near the beach, and Beast is using some the plant things that he's been messing with in X-Force to make some basically puppet governments to like hype up Krakoa to mingle, that they're waiting instruction. And he just goes, trust me, I know exactly what I'm doing. We will get to that in a minute.
Jesus Christ, Beast.
No. Okay, so have you heard, you remember the character Dark Beast? Basically,
I literally only know what that is because there's an action figure of it.
Dark Beast is a beast from an alternate universe that is basically what if Beast, but no morals and was willing to fuck over mutants to get what he wants. This beast is getting closer and closer to that, and I wonder if they're doing that on purpose so they can do something with Dark Beast later. And they're basically dealing with all the stuff. Sage going like, oh man, I'm all dressed up nice and we can't do anything, but we're running security, so whatever, we're dealing. And Domino basically goes, you're not missing much. And she just goes, you're a liar. You were missing a big party. And like all this kind of stuff is going on. And basically Charles is going like, Beast, you've done something. And Beast goes like, Charles, you explicitly told me you were better off not knowing. I did, didn't I? I haven't let you down yet, have I? No, not yet. Basically, he knows Beast is playing a very dangerous game.
Know your role, fucker.
Because those Floronic politicians are going around basically creating plant bugs to gather intel from the other politicians that are invited to the party.
Hank, please, can you not?
And no, it is very much like, Hank, I know you mean well, but don't.
Like low-key, Hank has become such a bastard in the last couple decades. It's amazing. Like
Okay.
he's responsible for every stupid idea in the Bendis run is something I learned recently. My God.
So there's one of those little info things of Beast's argument for everything that he's been doing. I'm going to read it verbatim because goddamn. Imagine the following scenario. The cloud parts and a god descends. His mighty voice booms like thunder as he offers the world a gift. The gift is his watchful gaze. He would keep an eye out for all of his children and warn and protect them from harm. He wanted evildoers struck down. He wanted the good to prosper. His all-knowing wisdom would allow that. Most people would fall to the knees and bring their hands together in a prayer of gratitude. Thank you, they would say. We are loved, they would say. But if you change the scenario even slightly and say, swap out the celestial figure with a certain blue-furred mutant, then suddenly everyone is opposed because most people are stupid and illogical. So what if I have ears in every embassy or Avengers Mountain? So what if you lose the privacy you never had? My aim is to keep the world safe. Jesus fucking Christ, Beast!
That's some Dr. Manhattan shit there.
It's some Doctor Doom shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we end with Wolverine conducting a check on the perimeter, and he sees something in the water, and it's fucking Deadpool.
The boy?
Yeah, the boy! And he goes, hey, I heard you threw in a party and made the mistake of not inviting me. That hurts my feelings. And Wolverine goes, are you really this stupid? I'm a mutant. You're no mutant. I'm an honorary mutant then, which means I'm allowed to get fucked-faced at mutant parties. This is a diplomatic summit, not a keg party.
Can't it be both, though?
And goddamn, so Wolverine's just fighting Deadpool, going like, hey, come on, let me into the party. And Deadpool's not like angry that Wolverine's trying to stop him. He's like, he's like, oh, is there a ball pit?
It's a game to him. It's a game to him.
Is there a ball pit at this party, or curly slide, or stripper poles? Will we dance the Macarena? What kind of finger food? And then Domino just like caves his head in, going like, okay, that should like solve the problem for a little bit. And Emma Frost comes in and gives Sage some champagne, going like, hey, I know you couldn't go out there and hang out, but cheers. Also, cheers to your colonial rule of that plant place that we helped save earlier in the run. Because you enacted a puppet government. I know it's not your fault. I know it's Beast's. But this jeopardizes more than one night. It puts an entire nation at risk. If anybody learns what we've done, we'd be done. Basically saying, y'all fucked up, and now you have to keep it under wraps, or else everything is going to fall. And then it doesn't get under wraps. One person starts turning into a giant plant monster.
Awesome.
To be continued in Wolverine. And the next issue of this week is Hellions. Mr. Sinister's getting dressed, ready to go to the party. Havoc and Psylocke are both getting ready to go. And every other member of the Hellions are not allowed to go because they are fucking psychopaths and troubled people, and they will just make everything worse. And basically Psylocke goes like, you don't want to come, we're going to work. This isn't fun, keep an eye on them. And so they're walking around doing trading, and basically the guy Psylocke puts them in charge goes like, fuck it, let's go to the party. Let's just crash it.
All right.
And Sinister's like being an asshole. Go, which one's Captain America and which one's Iron Man? Sorry, I don't own a TV. You know, Psylocke and Betsy have like Kawan and Betsy have like a little brief like hello. And then Professor Xavier goes like, hey, Havoc, isn't that the rest of your team? As they slowly show up and start like stealing booze. And Professor Xavier just goes like, I shouldn't keep you from your friend. Basically, hey, go try and solve that a little bit. All the while, Kurt Wagner is drunk off his ass, philosophizing about his religion, and goes like, oh, the hell, you made it. I actually think I got you guys. I think about you guys a lot. As Mr. Sinister is still fucking doing his thing, while the nanny egg person comes up and goes like, Nathaniel killed and abused children. T'Challa, you probably don't want to talk to him. Wild Child reunites with a person he used to date in the past, Aurora. You know, the person who's currently seeing Dakin,
Oh,
and like he's going like, "Oh, it's Aurora. I'm much less feral now. I'm improving. Maybe we can get back together. Like, it's good to see you. Would you like a dance?" And she just goes like, "Look, when we were together, I was in a really confusing place in my life. It's not a good time." Basically going like, "I was fucked up, dude. I don't want to go back there." And it breaks his fucking heart, you know? All the while the cuckoos are like just gossiping in their hive mind. Like, oh, he just got destroyed. Ran into an X. Oh man, it's just cute. It's adorable. Polaris is talking to Magneto. Comes up to Magneto, and Havoc is pleading with Magneto. Hey, I know Madeline Pryor is technically a clone, but like, I just want to know the justification. I just want to know the complete justification. And Magneto's just going like, well, things are complicated, and it's all about politics and measure. And Havoc is going like, I'm okay with the decision. I just really want to understand the reasons behind it. You know, and Polaris basically goes like, "Hey, my dad's a dick. Don't worry about it." And Wild Child goes like, "Hey, I need a drink. I need to get drunk." The Hellions are just fucking the party up. Mr. Sinister walks up to Franklin, goes like, "Franklin, I know I can fix that little problem of yours." And Regis goes, "Let's keep moving." It's just like the Hellions are just fucking everything up. Orphan Maker gets drunk, and Havoc is just dealing with it because he's the only reasonable person in this. And then Wild Child is about to go and confront Aurora, basically go like, "Hey, I can handle this. I need to talk to you." As he sees Aurora close her arms around Dakin and kiss him.
ooh.
Now, here's the thing. Wild Child is like a more feral version of Sabretooth, a small feral version. He thinks very pack logic and like, I need to be superior, I need to show dominance. And Dakin, being a Wolverine type character, fits into that cycle of dominance that Wild Child sees. And he just basically goes like, "All right, Dakin, fight me, challenge me. I want Aurora." Because he's going feral, he's going beast, he's going like monstery. And then basically John Ironside goes like, "No, I am knocking you to the ground. You're not doing this." And then Orphan Maker sees it and goes like, "Oh, are we wrestling now?" So now all three of them are just on the ground fighting.
Amazing. Also, quick correction for earlier. Death of Doctor Strange is not summer. It is dated for September of this year.
While the egg girl woman, nanny, fucking takes a champagne bottle, busts it on the table, and goes like, "All right, it's going down." She starts trying to shank Mr. Sinister.
You do?
And basically, the sociopathic empath goes like, "All right, everybody kill," and they start beating him up. And then basically Magneto goes like, "All right, I'm done with it." He lifts all of them up from their metal and goes like, "Magic, and I need to send you this panel." He basically goes like, "Magic,
I'm
can you make a
slightly-
portal?"
Oh no.
So she makes a portal and sends them all away to their base. And they're
Sir,
like,
I have to. You need to post something else because I have to sleep after this, and I do not want that to be the last thing in my mind when I go to sleep.
"Okay, well, you'll see this guy in a bit because this is going to be much more relevant when it comes to X of Swords. You'll see why."
Isn't that just sinister?
He has some scars. There's a specific reason.
Oh dear.
Yep. And basically, the Hellions are going like, "All right, this is fucked." And then the next stuff is Excalibur and X-Men. So yeah, Hellfire Gala is off to a fucking shit show. It's great.
Excellent. I would expect nothing else.
So why don't you? So do you have anything else you want to talk about comics wise?
No, I didn't really have time for much else. And
Okay.
I'm actually probably gonna be taking a little break from reading older shit to get some other stuff going. I got a lot of other stuff I need to work on for a little bit. 'Cause it's kind of in a transitional period in my life right now, and I need to focus less on just reading shit for a little bit.
Why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
Hey, you can find me at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. It's spelled TheVacuuminator. I make toy reviews. I'm reviewing stuff. I haven't reviewed any Marvel figures or any DC figures recently, but I will when I can. I've got some stuff backlogged. Don't worry, it's coming. Obviously, there's a very particular thing that's on its way and will be put into the queue. If you want to hear me talking about random shit or whatever the fuck, go follow me on Twitter at the Vacuuminator. And if you want to see me post photos of action figures and occasionally other things, go follow me on Instagram at _Vacuuminator.
Alrighty, hey, I'm Chris Boingo Writer Gaston. I make video essays and editorial on YouTube. You can find me at Boingo Writer. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Boingo_Writer. If you're listening to this podcast on a podcasting platform, hey, give us a follow. Tell people about it. That's the best way to help us out there. If you're listening to this on YouTube, give us a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can get this and other podcasts, such as Modular Media Wrestling Podcast and This Week in Toku. Anything else you want to say about comics this week?
Are you seriously gonna give me this opening?
I hope you do it quick, because I need to use the restroom.